Well, beloved dumb motherfuckers, what is going on, everyone? It is I. It is everyone's favorite jack of all trades with a foul mouth, Commodore Urban, and welcome back to another awesome fucking video, guys. I really do appreciate it. Before I do dive in this bitch, big special shout out to all of you guys, my viewers, my subscribers, for sticking around watching this shit. Reason why I fucking do it, it's for all of you guys. So yeah, and as you can see here, we have a what if picture. This is a what if, and this actually is, if you can kind of tell by the rig, this is character from a what if character from Admiral Lane, and this would be the legendary British Royal Navy man of war HMS Victory, the famous man of war of the Battle of 1805. So, or as they would call the Battle of Trafalgar, which, if you see in this picture here, we have her depicted at the Battle of Trafalgar against the combined French and Spanish navies. Reason why I'm showing you guys this is because I have a very interesting little book talking about the Victory. And right here it is. It is HMS Victory Pocket Manual, 1805. Admiral Nelson's warship at Trafalgar. And on the back, it says here, Admiral Nelson's fully preserved flagship, HMS Victory, was the most tangible symbol of the Royal Navy's greatest battle off Cape Trafalgar on the 21st of October of 1805, and is now the only surviving line of battleship of the Napoleonic Wars. Using a mixture of narrative and original documents, this little book looks at the commissioning and building of the ship, including technical developments, how the ship was manned, and conditions of service. The Victory's role at Trafalgar, including many of the technical aspects of battle, is covered as the importance of Admiral Nelson, her legendary commander. However, as the Victory was engaged in battle for only 2% of her active service, there are also plentiful glimpses of life and work at sea during the remainder of her working life in the Georgian Navy. And basically what this little book does, it kind of gives you an inside glimpse of what it was like to have been a sailor on board the mighty Victory during her heydays of sea. Of course, as soon as you open up the book, you have this pretty interesting kind of, well, picture or painting of her. And then you open it up, and it says it's written by Peter Goodwin, published by the Naval Institute Press of Annapolis, Maryland. This particular book was published in 2015. Now the chapters include, damn it, come on, bitch. The building the Victory, Victory Sea Service, entering the ship in the Georgian Navy, manning the ship, living in the ship, conditions of service, the Royal Marines, learning to row, ship's boats and boat work, anchors away, Victory's ordnance, training the great guns, the broadside of battle, borders away, Trafalgar, sawbones in the sick berth, and Nelson, the hero of the Victory, with these appendices at the end. And what this little, see right here, what this little book says, launched 250 years ago, the 100-gun first-rate ship HMS Victory is perhaps the most iconic surviving sail and powerful Georgian Navy in the age of the fighting sail. But what this book does, it captures a glimpse of what it was like for when the Victory was built, how she was built, and the understanding of why. There's even some really interesting drawings in here, like the body plan as built in 1765. Yes, she was built all the way in 1765. She's old as fuck, but she's still a very beautiful, very classy looking vessel in her own right. Even though I'm not a real big fan of sailing, I do like sailing ships, but I can never fucking build a model one just because too much fucking rigging for me. Who knows? I might give a chance one day and do it. It even tells you about the types of the mast and stuff on the ship, which is interesting. See timbers and materials, Victory Sea Service. Basically it tells about everything, all the different battles and everything the ship had went through. See, about the manning of the ship, like the rank and order of the crew of the day, the living conditions on board the ship, which weren't the greatest, but, back in them days it was, learning how to operate the ship and using the power of the wind to move her. And there's another chart that shows sailing chart handling, how the ship handles, the different types of rigging and block tackle, the different types of sails, tacking ship, shows you how the ship's wearing ship, heaving to, reefing sails, and of course talks about the ship's boats, which included a 34-foot launch, a 32-foot barge, 28-foot pinnacle, a 25-foot cutter, a 25-foot yawl, and an 18-foot cutter, and how they were stored and how they were, and of course the anchors, the type of anchor she had, and how big they were and what they were used for, capstans, storage of the cable, hawsers, anchor storage, anchoring, mooring. See? Anchoring a square-rigged ship, catting the anchor, fishing the anchor, nipping the anchor. Even though it's a little book, there's a lot of information in here that teaches you about how the ship would have been operated, unlike an actual modern-day ship, kind of like the battleship New Jersey, being steam-powered, modernized. This is cannons. These weren't actual guns, these were cannons that you stuff gunpowder and shit into, and then stuff a giant metal ball in there, and more water, and then you lit it, and boom. Talking about how they would do, broadside another ship, the art of broadsiding, shot firing, borders away, and of course, talking about the actual Battle of Trafalgar and how it actually played out, which is really nuts, crazy shit, how it actually all went down. And then of course there's a little bit here in the back that talks about Admiral Horatio Lord Nelson. I couldn't believe this, but this guy is a fucking insane. He literally lost, I believe they said he lost his right eye, and he lost his, I think his left or right eye. He lost one of his eyes, and then later he lost his right arm. So at the time of the Battle of Trafalgar, he only had one eye and one good limb, and he was still commanding the ship. I mean, he got killed at the Battle of Trafalgar. A round shot hit him in the shoulder, and it killed him. Because that's what this picture depicts of. The death, the fall of Lord Nelson. This guy, like I said, is crazy. He was very crazy. But he was also a very smart tactician as well. He was very tactical minded. He did things that other captains and commanders just were too fucking chicken shit scared to do. And for him it worked. And of course in the appendixes you got your sealing qualities on how the ship sailed, which pretty interesting to read. She sailed pretty decently, but in heavy seas could be a bit of a roll. And then of course the watches on board the ship, how they were done at sea. Quantity of shot and gunpowder expanded at the Battle of Trafalgar. Victories, battle casualties, killed in action. The French Revolutionary War, Anglo-Spanish War, Napoleonic War, which is, the Battle of Trafalgar. But yeah, but at the very end or whatever of reading this, I actually got a better understanding about this legendary warship and, understanding the era from which she came from and other ships like her, and also just understanding the life and the gruesome task of operating such a massive ship out at sea like that. And frankly, I have to commend Britain for actually saving this iconic ship. Unlike other ships they fucking scrapped over the years. Yeah, I'm talking about like the likes of like Warspite. You guys could have fucking preserved Warspite, but y'all fucking didn't. You guys are stupid. But at least you guys preserved this one now, so kudos to y'all for preserving at least one legendary ship from the Royal Navy. But overall though,